Pain and Gain is a 2013 American action comedy film directed by Michael Bay and written by Christopher Markus and Stephen McFeely, loosely based on a 1999 series of Miami New Times articles by Pete Collins about the activities of the Sun Gym Gang, a group of bodybuilding ex-convicts convicted of kidnapping, extortion, torture, and murder in Miami in the mid-1990s. It stars Mark Wahlberg, Dwayne Johnson, and Anthony Mackie. The title is a play on the common fitness adage, "No pain, no gain." The film received mixed reviews. It was praised for its script and performances, but criticized for its directing, historical inaccuracies, and over-reliance on violence. It was a commercial success, grossing $86 million worldwide against a $26 million budget. Marc Schiller, the Sun Gym Gang's primary victim who was depicted in the film as Victor Kershaw, sued the production company over his portrayal. In 1994, ex-con and bodybuilder Daniel Lugo is hired by Sun Gym owner John Mese as a manager. Lugo befriends trainer and bodybuilder Adrian Doorbal, who was recently rendered impotent from steroids. He envies the earnings and lifestyle of Victor Kershaw, a member he begins to train. Inspired to be a doer by motivational speaker, playboy Jonny Wu, Lugo plans to extort Kershaw for his assets. He recruits Doorbal and manipulates Paul Doyle, another ex-con and born-again Christian struggling with drug use, into blindly playing along. The Sun Gym Gang kidnaps Kershaw, taking him to a small warehouse. Although Kershaw identifies Lugo, the scheme proceeds as planned. Under duress, Kershaw makes calls to provide explanations for his disappearance and transfers his assets to Lugo. Mese is bribed to notarize documents in Kershaw's absence. After collecting Kershaw's money and assets, the gang attempts to kill Kershaw. They stage a drunk driving crash, burn his car, then run him over. The gang members spoil themselves with Kershaw's riches. Lugo takes over Kershaw's car and home and begins forcing himself on the local community. Doorbal marries Robin, the nurse treating his impotence. Doyle, after assaulting a priest for making homosexual advances on him, abandons his restraints, blowing his money on cocaine and Sorina, his new stripper girlfriend who believes he and Lugo work for the CIA. Unbeknownst to the gang, Kershaw survived and is hospitalized. He informs the police, who dismiss his story because of Kershaw's manner, blood alcohol level and him being from a South American country known for drug trafficking. Kershaw contacts Ed Dubois, 3, a retired private investigator, who warns Kershaw to leave the hospital. Kershaw takes his advice just as the gang arrives and hides in a cheap motel. Dubois tails them and meets Lugo, who becomes suspicious at the mention of Kershaw. After Kershaw furiously calls Mese about his stolen money, the gang identifies the motel he stays at. They go to kill him, but discover that he has already checked out. They learn of Dubois linked to Kershaw and plan to kidnap him, but the plan falls through. Doyle and Doorbal, having gone broke after excessive spending, plan another kidnapping with Lugo. They target Frank Griga, owner of a phone sex operation. They lure Griga and his girlfriend Christina Ferdin to Doorbal's to propose an investment scheme. The discussion breaks down when Griga points out that he distrusts Lugo and his friends due to their obvious lack of knowledge on running a business. During the ensuing fistfight, one of Doorbal's weights falls on Griga's head, killing him. Doorbal accidentally kills Christina by overdosing her with horse tranquilizer in the chaos. They dismember the bodies and dispose of them in a swamp. Doyle, perturbed by the violence Lugo promised would not happen, leaves the gang and returns to the priest's church. The police learn of Griga and Christina's disappearances and, with evidence from Dubois, plan to arrest the Sun Gym gang. The police arrest Doyle at the church, Doorbal at home, and Mese at the Sun Gym. Lugo flees in Kershaw's speedboat. Deducing his move, the police rush to a bank in Nassau to catch him attempting to steal the rest of Kershaw's money, which he moved to an offshore account in case something happened. Lugo slips away again, but gets run over by Kershaw and is finally arrested. At the trial, Doyle gives a full confession incriminating Doorbal and Lugo. Robin, upon discovering her husband's criminal activities, divorces and also testifies against Doorbal along with Sorina. Lugo and Doorbal are sentenced to death, while Doyle and Mese are sentenced to 15 years. Doyle served 7 years and converted back to Christianity while Mese died in prison.